I remember when I started doing makeup in 2013 from my hostel room at uni. The struggle was not easy, especially finding the funds to learn makeup from a professional. I turned to YouTube and began watching makeup videos by the likes of Jackie Aina and Laifa Beauty. Over the years, I developed a passion for makeup before finally deciding to attend a professional makeup school. If you are like me,
make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like this video, comment below and share it. In this video, I'll be showing you tricks and tips on how to achieve flawless makeup on yourself, on clients, or if you're a beginner or a pro makeup artist looking to learn new techniques. So I started off by cleaning my client's face with micellar water. Next, I used my Neutrogena Hydro Gel Moisturizer. When applying the moisturizer, I will advise you use a synthetic brush for best result, as this does not soak up the product. But if your client is okay with you using your hands, then actually that's the best tool I advise to apply products. I like letting skincare sit for about 2 to 3 minutes. You want to do this. Most times I set a timer to remind me the time, because this helps the skin to thoroughly absorb each product before going on with the next one. After applying the Neutrogena moisturizer, while that sink in, I moisturize my client's lips. Yes, you need to moisturize your client's lips. It's essential for prepping the whole face for any product you're going to apply. Next, I use the Snail moisturizing essence to ensure her skin stays hydrated and helps the makeup last longer. Again, guys, let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes. Always let your skincare sit for a couple of minutes before applying the next product. Trust me, you will see the result. Once the skincare was absorbed, I applied the e.l.f. Hydro Grip Primer with the same synthetic brush, also letting it sit for a bit to enable the skin properly absorb the primer and for the primer to gain some firmness and hold. Then I moved on to the Morphe foundation. I applied it a bit by bit using a small concealer brush to even it out and cover all areas before building up coverage with a proper brush. Foundation is the basis of your entire makeup look, so take your time when working this into your skin. Whether you prefer full or medium coverage, it's entirely up to you. I prefer medium coverage, not too heavy and not too light, unless my client requests otherwise. After applying the foundation, I sprayed my client's face with the Maribadesco refreshing spray. This refreshing spray, I always talk about it, I rave about it, and I love it. It helps to refresh your skin, and this also helps to make the product blend in easily. Then I use a damp beauty blender to blend the product properly without leaving any harsh lines. Always, guys, blending is key. Take your time when blending, don't rush. You see me in this video, I did not rush, and I posted the almost all the clip of how I blended and how much time it took, even though this video was even speed up. The Morphe foundation coverage wasn't quite giving what I wanted, so I switched. I don't have a clip of that. I switched to the Nars Soft Matte Foundation for additional coverage, because I love the finish of that Nars Soft Matte Foundation. This foundation provides full coverage. You can build it up. It goes from medium to full coverage quickly by By combining these two foundations, I achieved the perfect coverage and complexion for my client. Guys, you just want to keep building coverage until you are satisfied. Once I was happy with the coverage, I went in with concealer. I used the Tarte shape concealer on her under eye area, blending it out with the same damn beauty blender I had used to blend her foundation earlier. You know, the beauty blender has a bit of foundation product, which is a exact shade, so when you blend in with that, it just mashes everything together. Concealer will also advise you to blend out any harsh lines. Don't be in a hurry, don't be in a rush. Blend. If you want best result, if this thing is something you want to put out there and people will be appreciative of the effort you put into your work, or just for yourself, you want to like hold your phone when you want to make a video and you'll be like, oh, you've done a good job. Or even when you want to take your client's video, like when you see raw pictures or photos or videos of your work, you're proud of yourself. I also went in to set her under eye area with my Fenty face powder before baking with a setting powder. I don't know but it happens to me sometimes. Sometimes I feel like setting with a pressed powder first before going in with a baking powder. Sometimes I go in with a baking powder first, depending on how the spirit leads. But promise you, the result is always going to be flawless. I also set the rest of my client's face with the face powder. For nose contouring, you want to use a blending brush that is a bit dense but not too hard to contour the nose, depending on the effect you want. I use the Fenty powder to contour the bridge of her nose and her face. Remember, how you contour depends on your face or your client's face or even your model's face, whoever you're working on. How you contour depends on their face shape, whether it is square, is round or oval, and the look you want to achieve. Once I was done contouring with the Fenty powder, I went in with my Morphe bronzer just to soften up the contour a bit so it's not too harsh, and apply a bit to the highest point of our cheek to just warm it up and act as a transition for the blush that I'm going to apply later. I did contour her forehead and the sides of her face. Then I moved on to use my Huda Beauty setting powder to bake her face. Doing reverse contour on the bridge of her nose and the sides of her face. I then proceeded to set her brow hairs in place using my Morphe brow wax. I just got this. I've not really studied the consistency, but I am definite that it did work because the brows were popping. I'm not doing the brows yet though. I just wanted to set them so they dry and the brow hairs stay in place. After setting her brows, I moved on to the eye look. My client had earlier shown me her outfit and requested a specific look I created sometime last year. One thing, I always discuss looks with my clients. So I started by contouring, enhancing the contour from the outer part of her brows, blending it into the area just below the brow upwards. To warm it up, I used a dark brown from the Zikel Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, which I had always, guys, I always rave about this Zikel cosmetic palette because it's really pigmented. You can tell from this video I did not apply any primer or base. It's from the foundation product and all the concealers, all the product I've been applying on her face. I just make sure that when I was blending her face, I blend everything in to make sure it's seamless. Then I started applying. I love this palette a lot because it's so pigmented. Like, you don't need eyeshadow, guys. After connecting the nose contour to the eye contour for a lifting effect, I began creating a soft smoky base with the brown eyeshadows. Creating a winged out effect with the eyeshadow, you can see the way I am blending it out to create like a winged out eyeshadow effect. Next, I moved on to apply shimmer. I applied a gold shimmer eyeshadow. When working with shimmer eyeshadow, you can wet your brush or spray the eyeshadow itself for pigmentation and better application. Because if you apply it, if you apply shimmer eyeshadow dry like that, it doesn't pop for me. I don't know what you guys think. I moved on to evenly blend out the shimmer eyeshadow to avoid any harsh lines. Once this was done, I intensified the outer corner of the eyes with a darker brown from the same Zikel palette, blending it until I achieved the desired intensity. I softened any harsh edges with my Gucci bronzer. It's kind of warm, so I just use it to like blend the edges to soften up any harshness of the eyeshadow. I went on to also blend out the edges to diffuse the eyeshadow so it's not too harsh. I then moved on to apply a liquid liner, which I often use as an eyeshadow pigment for pop of color without wishing for glitters or loose pigments. Like with this, I don't need glitters, I don't need loose pigment. And I got this off of Amazon sometime last year, or was it this year? I really can't remember, but it's been working for me. Once this was done, I then moved on to finish up the brows. Having already set them earlier, you all know, with the Morphe brow wax, I went in with a detailed tiny flat brush using my Hega and Esther brow gel. I filled in the brows. It's important to have a brief conversation with your clients, guys, about their desired look. I'll say this again, if you are a makeup artist, always discuss look with your clients. Unless they tell you, I trust you, do your thing. Even most times I still insist, like, is there a makeup look that caught your eye on any socials you've been on or whatever it is? Or I'll show them pictures also. So my client liked that her brows stay as they are, so I just filled them out without grooming, and her brows were really perfect. Her brows did not really need much grooming. I moved on. I filled the top of the brows. While I fill, I brushed with a spoolie to spread out the product, so ensuring it wasn't packed in one area. This technique helps the brows look light and natural. I repeated the process on the other brows, then I went in with concealer and a flat brush to define them. You can use foundation if you prefer, but I wanted my clients to look extra glam and ensure her brows are lifted. I concealed the top slightly, but for the top I used her exact foundation. I did not use a lighter shade. When blending the concealer, use a brush that is not too soft or hard. The brush should be a bit dense. Since I do eyeshadows before brow, I'm very careful when blending to avoid ruining the brows. I also went back in with my Davis pencil. One thing about me is that I always pause for a minute to evaluate my work. Is the blend okay? Is everything looking flawless and coming together? This helps me ensure the makeup looks perfect. For that blend, like I kept looking to see if there's any blend, and I set the concealer with her face powder because you don't want to have your brows looking oily and greasy, so you need to set it with powder. What I'm doing now is one trick I do for eyeshadow to achieve like a lifted eye and eyeshadow and a defined eyeshadow application. I just go in with the edges of my beauty blender and I shape out the eyeshadow using setting powder. Once that was done, I went in with a small eyeshadow blending brush and I just softly brushed on some brown eyeshadows for her under eye, not too much, just enough to just make the under eye look really pretty. I went in with a black liner pencil to just line her eyes. I did on the other eye. I'm doing the same thing on this eye now. So if you notice here, I went back again to blend like for the eyes to make sure everything is detailed. Blended the eyeshadow area again, going back with the transition eyeshadow to soften the brow area. I measured the lashes on her eyes and applied lash glue while I moved on to line her lips with my Tarte Glam lipstick. I just followed the natural line of her lips with a small lip brush that is well detailed. I lined the top. And I moved on to line the bottom of the lips also. If you notice, I'm blending it out. I'm not just leaving a stark line there to just dry, because this Tarte Glam lip stain dries matte, so you want to like softly blend it out. So when you want to apply your next product, it will be easy for you to blend it in. Going back into my lashes, as the glue I had applied already dried up, I installed them. After that, I went back to the lip stain and applied my MAC lip stain. I don't really have the shade of head, or I will let you know. Okay, here I started off with the with my lip palette to just blend in some soft pink. I just asked my client to smack her lips together. This will not make any difference because I just used this lip palette to make a transition. Then I went in with my Nelegance Beauty lip stain. This lip stain is from my own brand, guys, and while we are currently sold out, I still have a few shades left. This particular shade is sold out. If you're interested, just send me a message and I'll send to you. I blended out in one of the lashes. I think the glue dried too much, so I had to take it off and reapply because it wasn't sticking. Meanwhile, I dusted off the excess powder and set the entire face with a face powder. I went in with a powder brush and even the contour and bronzing brush to just erase any harsh lines, to diffuse it, blend it in. You can see me, I'm using a smaller blending brush to go into areas that big brush cannot get into. I would advise you blend properly to avoid any stark harsh lines. After blending to some level of satisfaction, I applied powder blush to the highest point of her cheek for a lifted effect. Guys, product placement is crucial. Depending on the finish you want, know where to apply product. How do you want the look to be? For me, one thing with makeup, I study looks a lot. How was it applied? How did they manage to get this result? So look at the look. If your MUA post videos or you're following a makeup creator that you like their look and you want to recreate, look at the placement. How did they place it? But then again, you want to tailor this to your own face shape. So I just went in, blend. For some reason, guys, okay, now I know I did apply the translucent powder because I wanted a brighter under eye, and I wanted like a soft blend between the under eye and the blush I had applied. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that was why I was reapplying this translucent setting powder. I wanted to use it to blend in everything so that everything is mashed and flawless. Once that was done, I went back in with the lashes that came off earlier and I installed the lashes again. After installing the lashes, I lined her eyes, the top of her eyes. I had already lined the bottom. I like lining after filling in the lashes because this helps me mash the lash band so there's no difference. Sometimes if you line first, when you stick the lashes, you see that the lashes might, if the liner you're using to line is not dried yet, it might affect the liner. But this helps my line to stay defined and detailed and blend the eyelashes in. Do not have the rest of the video, but trust me, you have not missed much because all I did was spray and highlight. So here we've come to the end of this video. I hope the tips I've shared was helpful. If you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Don't forget, please hit the subscribe button and follow me on all socials. I appreciate your love and support. Your comments mean the world to me, and I am always here to respond to your questions. So tell me what you think about this look. For me, this look is flawless and stunning. Guys, I love this look. I promise to stay consistent with my uploads. I've found an easier way to record and edit YouTube videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I love you all. Bye for now.